Hello and welcome to this episode of Tripology. It's the only backpacking show where two best friends meet from other halves of the world into one central location to discuss all the things what they've gotten up to in the realm of travelling this week. I'm Alun and I'm here with the ever immersive Adam.
We've got a really interesting episode this week, mate. I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of a concept. It is going to be immersive. We're going to take a little look inside your brain, inside your experience of living in Japan, so that anyone listening at home who's thinking about moving to Japan, moving to Tokyo maybe specifically, we're going to tell them what they can expect, what they'll fall in love with, maybe what they'll hate, and dispel any myths.
I'm excited, mate, because you have really taken the reins on this one, like one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. You've grabbed that pony by the bolt and gone in a direction that it's not yet been revealed to me. I've been working a full day of work. That's why I'm coming across slightly jaded, slightly sarcastic. Perhaps in the last episode, some people think, oh, good, Alun was, seemed like someone who had put in a stint at 7-Eleven. And indeed, that was true. And now the same, because we're recording them back to back, baby. But here we are. You've taken the reins. You're guiding me down a path. And I'm just ready to be a passenger.
Yeah, well, my heart sank when I told you the dates that I was coming. I was going to be here for 2.5 weeks in Tokyo with you. And you said, Adam, my manager at 7-Eleven has given me so many shifts that I'm not going to be able to work on the show.
He's giving me more shifts than a manual transmission.
So I thought, why not do an episode like this, one that's hopefully of value to you listening at home, because we like telling stories about our own lives and letting people into the sort of funny adventures that we get up to. But we also like to offer something maybe a little bit more informative. It's going to be good. I think it's going to be really interesting because you are someone who's discerning, you are someone who's experienced, you're well seasoned, you've lived in many places, and you call out bullshit when you see it.
Yeah, if I see some bullshit, even fleetingly, I don't even glance it from the corner of the room, I'll be sure to tell everyone there's some bullshit over there.
Yeah, so, you know, a lot of people love Japan. They're in love with Japan. They fantasize about living here. But I don't think it's all good. I am one of those. I'm a massive Japanophile. I've been in love with Japan for a long time. I've been here 4 times now, but only as a holiday maker.
Yes, you. If I was to think of someone who I know who loves Japan, you're the first person at the top of that list. You love it.
I do. I have a great time here.
You used to have a poster on your wall in Canada with pictures of Japanese people on it.
Did I?
No. It was the Japanese alphabet, wasn't it? It was a kanji poster.
I was so sure that you were going to go with the hiragana, katakana writing scripts, and then you said Japanese people. I went, oh, God.
Yeah, I saw you predicting and I didn't like the fact that I was so predictable, so I thought I'd switch it up.
I thought I kept that poster behind a cupboard.
He had a hiragana, katakana poster up on his wall. That's how much this guy loves Japan. He loves Japanese YouTube channels.
Yeah. True. And a lot of Japanese customs and aesthetic artwork.
Yeah.
Food, obviously. Talking food, you must be hungry because you've had such a long shift at 7-Eleven.
Yeah, we're not allowed to eat the 7-Eleven food.
No, so I've gone out.
Where did you go?
I thought, what could be quite funny? It's iconic.
You went to 7-Eleven?
I went to all 3 of the major
Friends and family discount.
aforementioned discussed convenies, the convenience stores. And we're going to, today, whilst talking, I'm going to give Alan 7 questions, okay?
And I'm going to give 11 answers.
And you, whilst doing that, we're going to eat the family fried... You've been let down. Most convenience stores, they've got their own version of fried chicken.
Yeah.
So what I think would be quite interesting is to eat all of those and we decide which one's best. We can critique them. And I've also, for a little chaser, got you the very iconic egg salad sandwich from 7-Eleven.
Can we tell? Do you mind if I tell the audience what happened just before we started recording?
No, that's totally fine.
We finished the last episode and we just went for a brief toilet break. Yeah. Because we want to be light on our feet during an app.
We want the momentum to continue long into the second episode.
Came into the kitchen on my way to the toilet and Adam had set fire. He started a fire in the kitchen trying to heat up some of this food. So I came in. It was like, you know, a burning piece of paper.
Yeah. So I put them in one of those little grill oven things with the drawer.
A grill oven that no one ever has used in this house apart from you.
Well, they must have because it was still hot. That's the reason I used it. It was warm. So I knew that someone had used it recently. I put this food in there.
No way.
And whacked it up, full whack. And what I think had happened was the paper had touched one of the filaments and set alight. But it was a quick fix, wasn't it?
Yeah, you just blew it out like a birthday candle. Made a quick wish, and here we are.
There you go. So we got the family mart chicken, we got the Lawson's fried chicken, and we got the 7-Eleven fried chicken.
Oh wow, 3 different types of fried chicken.
Yeah.
Now, I know what you're thinking, Alun. Are you on contractual obligation to prefer the 7-Eleven chicken because you work there? Quick answer to that is, that's a comedy conceit joke. I don't actually work for 7-Eleven, so I can tell you exactly what I think.
Cool. Let's just start with one to get this rolling. What's
it going to be?
Which one do you want to start with?
I'll start with that one in your hand, the 7-Eleven.
It's already open because I ripped it because it was on fire.
Exactly. Perfect. I'm going to get tucked in here. Oh, it's nice and warm from the grill.
Yeah, you don't need to see a close-up. You know what fried chicken looks like, guys.
No, I'm a vegetarian, so it smells like... Oh, Christ, it smells...
like the packet.
Like the burning packet, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe, don't worry about that.
Yeah, don't factor in olfactory misgivings.
Yeah. And it's a good sized bite. I think you'll be able to tell whether it's any good or not. Now, the meat is a little bit grey, I will say. It's probably not breast.
It really tastes...
But it probably is chicken.
Like the packet, though.
Does it? Just describe what you're going through.
Hold on, because you need to talk.
Okay, I'm going to talk. I'll just describe it. It looks like a big chicken nugget. It's fairly packed with the meat. It's not a big size, really. I don't know what it's the same size. Maybe half a loaf of bread. Not half a loaf, sorry. That'd be great value for money. Half a slice of bread. It was 250 yen, which is the most expensive by 2 yen.
Really?
The other two are 248 yen.
Okay. Now, I don't want to rabbit on about the burning incident because I want it to be an objective test. But you tell me if you think... Did you get a whiff or taste of burning packet then?
Not at all.
So maybe it was just on the top.
Yeah.
The top of the chicken.
You've eaten the part that smelled.
Right. So I'm going to ignore that in my taste assessment. It tasted like I'd imagine. A little bit greasy.
Yeah.
A little bit greasy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's quite chewy.
Quite chewy, quite greasy, quite flat, quite two-dimensional.
Yeah, it's quite dry as well. I mean, if this is ripping hot, if this is piping hot and it's coming out of the oven...
A lot of that's going to be masked.
Yeah, I think it would be okay. It doesn't taste quality.
No.
It's lacking crunch. It's quite well seasoned. I wouldn't say it's too salty.
No, that's true. That's true.
So what are we giving it is this middle of the road, do we think?
Well, let's say we're giving a score out of 10 and 5 is as good as you expect, average for the money.
Okay, so out of 10 out of 10 would be exceeding expectations for what we expect.
0 is it's made you sick.
Right. Well, we don't know this well on camera, but
5 is average what I expected to receive for the money I'd give.
From a convenience store.
And I think that was a 5 for me.
Okay, cool.
What for you?
Yeah, I think 5's pretty safe. I don't know if I'm saying that because we got 2 others.
All right, well, we can reassess the scores at the end. But right now, the 7-Eleven fried chicken is getting a 5.
Yeah, can you just rip that open with your finger?
Of course
This
I can.
is now Lawson's, which is famously my favourite.
Lawson's chicken is your favourite?
Yeah, I think so.
That's interesting.
I'm just going to go in there with the bare hands. I don't know if eating...
Now, immediately it looks more appealing. It looks slightly more like breaded, a little bit more subtle in its coating. And I think the meat inside looks better as well. That said, we can
heavily seasoned.
Heavily seasoned. Okay, let me get in here.
I think it's got much more flavour. And for that reason, I like it more. I actually wanted a second bite. So that probably tells you everything you need to know. It feels less greasy. Whether it would have had more crunch or not, we don't know, because I have been storing these in the fridge. The thing is, with these convenience store things, right, there's quite a high turnover in terms of the products. So I had to take my chance when I saw that I went into a convenience store with the fried chicken still in the oven. I couldn't just go out, 2 minutes before recording and hope that it's in there, because it might not have been in there. And then the whole episode would have fallen apart.
I would say that's objectively
a
much better piece of chicken.
Yeah, I agree. You can see it's fibrous in there. It's stayed somewhat moist. It's still got a bit of a bounce to it, though. But it smells better. It tastes better. There's
a lovely aftertaste that's just pure seasoning that I think is going to it's going to shoot me straight up to an 8 out of 10. I'm going to give that an 8. I think it's a really solid piece of fried chicken for your money. That I didn't know we were doing this today, so I'm enjoying it from I was starving coming home from work perspective as well. But I think that an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, you wouldn't be surprised if that did contain some MSG or some sort of additives or preservatives. It doesn't taste completely natural.
I'm allergic to MSG.
Are you?
No.
I had a martini in it recently with MSG in it instead of brine. A dirty martini with MSG. It was awesome.
Wow.
Really, really cool.
People also, I want to say, people think of MSG as a bad thing. It's largely due to an erroneous, fraudulent joke letter written to a science magazine in which a guy making a bet with his friends said, I bet I can get something published in a scientific journal.
Wow.
He wrote a letter saying, I've noticed that lots of people feel like crap after MSG. And it was picked up and run with so much that it became a cultural thing that people have in their heads. Like MSG is bad for you, it makes you feel like you have this hangover MSG thing. Let's say totally not true. It's like a completely fraudulent idea. It's just popularized by this letter written in the scientific magazine.
And so it's maybe
not any worse for you than anything else of that kind, sodium.
Yeah, and in Asian and specifically Chinese cooking, it's used all over the place.
Yeah, and they live for almost forever. So,
right, now we're moving on to the Fami Cheeky. Fami Cheeky, maybe the most famous of the fried chickens.
Yeah, it's the original. I actually think that this is the one. I'm not sure about this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think probably Family Mart did this first.
Maybe
7-Eleven Lawson's copied them.
Yeah, go on, have a little bite of that and tell us what you think.
Getting involved. Okay.
So Fami Cheeky, just the word itself is an abbreviation of family mart, and then chicken. So Fami Cheeky. I think
doesn't look as good as the Lawson's one.
It's a funny shade of orange. It's almost fluorescent.
It's too orange, isn't it?
Yeah. But Fami Cheeky, I think, might be the best abbreviation of anything in the world ever because it feels good to say Fami Cheeky. It's nice, isn't it? It feels naughty. It makes me feel like a small kid. What are we thinking so far?
Very difficult to parse out. I mean, get involved.
Okay, Here we go.
Very difficult for me to parse that out between the Lawsons and that one. I will say, I think texturally, that might be superior, but flavorally, I think that the Lawson's is better. I think the Lawson's had a more complex seasoning taste. So I'm going to say, for me, that's a 7. The Lawson's is an 8, and the 7-Eleven, by far, the most inferior at 5.
Which one's the most inferior?
The 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven. Yeah, I agree.
Lawson's 8, Fami Cheeky 7, 7-Eleven 5.
Yeah, so the Fami Cheeky for me is, if you didn't try the other two,
yeah,
you might think it was okay, but there is this kind of weird, bizarre, almost synthetic
6.5, 7.
Yeah. With the Lawsons, we agree.
8. That's good that we agree. I like it when I agree with Adam on food stuff because, like we know, he is a food expert. He knows what good tastes like. He knows what the size of a durian is. He knows when wine is of quality. He hates cheap cheese. And so it's good when I agree with him on food, it makes me feel like I'm batting above my weight in terms of my professionalism, basically.
Oh, good. Well, we can put a poll. We can see if anyone's ever had these three, or they've had the Lawson's one. Maybe they don't. Maybe it's not their favourite.
Well, I think if you come to Japan and you've only got time to eat one chicken, go straight to Lawson's.
It's not your favourite convenience store, but it does the best chicken, maybe. So
it is my favourite convenience store.
Lawson's is
by some distance.
Oh well, there we go. Good.
We've talked about that in a previous episode.
It's very on brand. I was under the impression that 7-Eleven was your favourite.
No. Why were you under that impression? Because it's the one that's closest to my house. I didn't choose my house based on the locations of the convenience stores.
There's two very good ones. But other ones like Mini Mart, also an option.
Who?
It's in one of those.
No.
They're nowhere near as famous. Don't bother. Their chicken didn't even make the cut.
I won't.
So I'm going to give you this now.
Okay.
Just while I ready the questions, because today we are going to ask Alun 7 questions about his experience in Japan. We've got the iconic egg salad sandwich.
Yeah.
Which, if you haven't had one of those...
they are potent.
Yeah, we'll open it and we'll just eat it while I'm asking you the questions.
All right. They taste more like egg than anything you've ever had before, to the extent that I was sat down today just before going into work and someone opened one next to me behind a divider. I couldn't see them, but I know that they opened an egg sandwich by the smell that came over.
Wow. Yeah, it's something that's highly sought after.
In Japan, they open at the back, the sandwiches. Almost like you're unzipping a dress.
But they are also a pleasure to eat as well. But a lot of things in Japan, I don't know how they do it, but maybe it's the quality of the ingredients, but I wonder if they tamper with the flavours because they taste almost like an exaggerated, concentrated version of themselves.
The proverbial lament that's been tampered with, that has.
Yeah, it's like a caricature of itself, isn't it, some of the food in Japan?
Yeah.
Or maybe in the West, they're just dulling things down, diluting it, force growing things. Who knows?
Is this nice to listen to, us eating an egg sandwich whilst talking down microphones?
Probably not, which is why I was holding the microphone away, but we'll find out in the edit, won't we?
All right.
Sorry if you don't like us eating.
What can you do? Adam, we've got to tell the listener about Saley's eSIMs, haven't we?
I agree, mate. Let's do it.
Well, they've got the absolute best solution for getting fast, reliable and safe data for your smartphone whilst travelling.
Yeah, you're right. And they don't work the same way as a physical SIM. It's actually using the software that's inbuilt in your phone.
Do you remember when we used to have to hunt down a store and a stranger would jab our SIM card trays with a little needle and give us a physical local SIM? We don't do that anymore, do we?
No, we don't, mate. And gone are the days where we have to walk around the town trying to find a public Wi-Fi spot.
Now, first thing the Tripology boys do when they arrive in a new country is go to Saley.com and get an amazing eSIM plan. It's less than $5 a month and they work in over 150 countries.
You can do that too. If you go to Saley.com/Tripology and use the code Tripology, you'll receive an exclusive 15% off your first purchase.
It's literally a travel essential. If you're going to find yourself roaming across the world, you need data, you should use Saley. Use our code Tripology. There's a link in the description.
Support Saley, support the podcast. Cheers. So, I've got the questions ready, mate. You can tuck into that. Okay. Enjoy it. It's actually, they've cut the crusts off, which I quite like. Some call it wasteful. But
where did the crusts go, do you think?
No idea. Maybe they give them to 7-Eleven.
Fair enough.
Just we recycle them in some way.
Yeah.
Not in the bin, because you can never fucking find one.
All right, go.
Question number 1.
Is it about the egg sandwich?
No, not at all.
What's this? Just set dressing then?
It's just for you to eat, because I know you're hungry. It's just for you to eat. It's a little chaser for the chicken, because we don't eat unhealthy food that often.
No.
We like to...
I assumed that I was now going to talk about this, but really what's happened is that I feel like I've just got it.
Yeah.
In many ways, Passport Please podcast, they have a passport on their desk.
Right.
Jason Moore's podcast, what's it called? Zero to Travel. He has a fancy microphone.
Yeah. We've
got an egg sandwich.
Got an egg sandwich. You can describe it if you want. I mean, why wouldn't you? God, it is like egg mayonnaise on steroids, isn't it?
It's crazy how eggy it is. And I don't like the word eggy, if I'm honest.
It tastes good. It tastes great. So number 1, here we go. What's one thing you thought you knew about Japan before moving here that turned out to be completely wrong?
One thing I thought I knew about Japan.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you want me to just talk a little bit about what I think the answer would be.
Yeah, do that, and I'll have a think whilst you do that, yeah.
So this is directed at you, audience. One thing that I thought I knew about Japan before I went on holiday here 4 times is the sincere politeness and respect that we all believe in the West that Japanese people have for everyone else and each other, which is true a lot of the time. But I've also been quite close with Japanese people and got Japanese friends, and had conversations with certainly the younger generation at length about this sort of stuff. And there is an undercurrent. There is a resistance. There is sort of an expectation of how you should behave in society in Japan. And just because we see Japanese people, or we're told through, soft power or popular media or whatever, that Japanese people are like that. I mean, there's a lot of people in Japan, and not all of them feel the same. Not all of them like that they have to bow really low or say the same things over and over again in this kind of really polite form of Japanese. So some people rebel. Some people just want to get on with their lives and just be completely fucking normal and not have to live up to this sort of stuff. So yeah, it's definitely something that does exist for the most part, but there are huge numbers of people, especially the younger generation, that don't really subscribe to it, but still have to do it. Otherwise, they'll be penalised by society.
I think for me, I was told, and I sort of had the belief that maybe as a non-local person who doesn't speak Japanese, it'd be quite difficult to make Japanese friends.
Yeah.
But in actual fact, I think Japanese people on the whole have revealed themselves to be perfectly easy to get to know and quite personable.
Yeah, lovely.
And like a lot of them speak English as well. So, particularly the younger generation, it's quite easy, isn't it, to find people who either speak English or make a damn good effort using Google Translate and what they know from that goddamn green owl on Duolingo.
Yeah, so your experience, of course, quite localized.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
in
working
Tokyo.
at 7-Eleven. I'm meeting a lot of people all the time.
Yeah, in Tokyo specifically, I mean, there probably is the highest number of English-speaking Japanese people.
Right.
You know, as you go further north and to the rural areas out in the sticks, less and less people speak English.
Good, because my social battery's running low.
Okay, there we go. So number 2, do you believe that living in Japan will change you in any way? How will it impact your future?
Everywhere that you live changes you, and if it doesn't, then
You ain't doing it right.
you've done something really wrong, though. I think that every year that goes by of your life, even if you're not living somewhere different, you should be trying to learn something about yourself or doing something. I can't stress enough how vehemently I feel that slipping into passivity in your life, stopping being an active participant in your own life, it's a trap that so many people fall into. And my goodness, I think it's like a really, really dangerous trap.
Yeah.
So Japan will change me in a number of ways that aren't exclusive to Japan. I'm living a year of my life as an active participant in my life, somewhere new and somewhere interesting. Of course, I'll change in unexpected ways because I'm showing up for myself every day, as everyone should, regardless of whether you can afford to travel right now, regardless of whether you're traveling somewhere I've never been or somewhere I've been before or somewhere that's new to you or new to someone else. I think you should always, always, always be developing and changing and pushing yourself to do new things that develop and change you.
Agree. Have you got like an inkling in your couple of months here? Can you see some things from the culture, from the people you might absorb? You think, oh, that's a good idea, or I wish I was a bit more like that, or maybe that's going to compound over time and that will kind of shape me in some way?
What I'll say is that there's a very, very strict, and it really is real, this whole idea in Japan that there's very little in the way of work-life balance.
Yeah.
There's like a real, you should live to work kind of vibe.
Yeah.
In many ways, I'm kind of looking at that and drawing parallels with the way I've sort of approached certain things in my life. And it's making me sort of see that none of that's worth it, really. And you should just try and show up and do your best. But everything's just fun at the end of the day, isn't it? Like, you should just try and create a sense of play and fun, and you shouldn't put all of your energy into work. It's particularly not for someone else. So I'm really about trying to find a sense of play in my day-to-day life, so nothing revolves around work. The only work that I put everything into is the work that gives me something out.
Yeah.
Not just financially.
We in the West, we look at Japan as kind of one extreme and think, oh my God, you know, they're so committed and devoted to their companies and they work such long hours, and if they're not working, they're commuting, and if they're not commuting, they're sleeping. But are they that far away from a lot of people in the West who still devote, you know, 5 days of their week at least to a company just to get a paycheck? You know, maybe something they're not super enthused about. They're just doing it to pay the bills. It's a means to an end.
It sounds ultra privileged, doesn't it? But I think that the second you're devoting all your time and energy to make someone else a bunch of money because you've made decisions and made circumstances that mean you absolutely need the little bit of money that they give you in exchange for making them a lot of money to pay the bills that you already have.
Yeah, you're obliged to earn a certain amount of money, which is very restrictive.
I'm not going to say something's gone wrong because people's circumstances are such that that's inevitable sometimes.
Yeah.
And depending on where you're from and who you are and what's happened in your life, it could be. But I think it's a real positive thing that you can do to like try and change those circumstances and try and build something for yourself that doesn't force you to be on the treadmill.
Yeah, I think something that we've done or been able to do, whether it was through happenstance, whether it was luck, whether it was through very deliberate decision making, we didn't make any huge financial or emotional commitments when we were young. And for that reason, we are not obliged to earn a certain amount of money or live in a certain place.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably it. My advice to any young people listening to this would be, before you do enter into something that is very serious, both financially and emotionally, think about it long and hard.
I know people that get upset when you talk about the circumstances that led to us traveling.
Yeah.
And often the knee-jerk reaction is, well, I would have done that if I could have done that. But the vast majority of those people were in situations where they could have done that.
They could have done
They
that.
elected not to in favour of whatever it is. Maybe it's a payment on a car. Maybe
Getting a car on finance, or buying a house,
all
or
that sort of stuff.
a relationship at a critical moment in time, or anything.
So
they're never framed like that at the time, and maybe at the time you're making the decision, that is really what you want to do.
So yeah, work-life balance is part of the culture in Japan. It's becoming more and more a part of the culture in the West, partly because people have to work so damn hard in order to do things that
Yes.
previously were more accessible, like buy a house.
Let's keep moving. It's number 3. What's been the biggest challenge or most difficult aspect of getting set up in Japan?
Just the administration, like getting your address registered. There's this weird triumvirate thing where you need a phone number to get a bank account, you need a bank account to get an address, you need an address to get the bank account. It's like really difficult. You end up having to queue for a long time in the like city office. And it can be really annoying. It's like something that has to happen before you get your first paycheck. So it's quite prohibitive, right?
Yeah.
Like you need to do all this stuff before you can get paid. I had to do a medical certificate. It's pretty long, yeah.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? You just feel like you're going around in circles.
Yeah, in my case, it was the egg. I have high cholesterol.
There's just a lot of admin. Sometimes it feels like you're going back in time in Japan, which is probably news to some people. But
yeah, in some areas, yeah. Yeah, in another area, it feels like you've sort of so far forward in time that the toilet's wiping your ass for you.
Number 4. What's the most Japanese thing you've witnessed in Tokyo that would be almost unimaginable in a typical Western city?
Those maid cafes.
Right, yeah. That's pretty Japanese, actually.
Yeah.
As well as the animal ones.
There's like both catered towards females and males cafes where the niche is that whichever gender you're attracted to serves you in a maid or a butler's outfit. And it's not necessarily sexual. They're scantily clad and they're usually attractive people working there.
Yeah.
But it's like the subservient maid butler aspect that people get their rocks off to.
And they're very, these are professionals who know how to be good company.
Highly trained professionals.
Yeah. So that is quite strange.
Yeah.
And I can't really imagine them existing in the West, certainly not in the capacity they do here. Would you be interested in going to one?
Not particularly.
I think it'd be quite a hollow experience.
I find that there's muscle cafes as well, where the whole niche is that like really muscly people lift you up.
I've never heard of that at all.
I actually think that's my answer to your question, is just the litany of themed cafes. There's a capybara cafe, an owl cafe, a pig cafe.
God.
And a muscle cafe and a maid cafe. Cafes.
Really weird, really weird. My answers for that question were pedestrians obediently waiting at red lights before crossing the road.
Yeah.
Which is strange to witness.
It's upsetting, isn't it?
Because,
to someone who's so like grown up with jaywalking being part of their culture.
Well, also because you can see that there's no danger and there's literally no issue. There's like 30 people waiting for the light to turn green, but there's been no cars for a full minute. I'm like, guys, it's fine. It's actually fine to just cross. We could have all crossed ages ago and be on with that day.
Yeah, it's inefficient, isn't it?
Yeah, I get when it's busy, there's, it's important to have order, so you reduce the risk of people getting bloody T-boned by a bicycle. Happened to me.
Yeah, sometimes it's mad because there's like 0 cars anywhere all the way and like everyone's waiting. And then by the time a car gets there, the light goes green.
Yeah.
Everyone crosses.
From one
No one's
perspective,
happy.
it looks like a little bit of brainwashing, you might say. But that's just me. And also the clean streets, because there's there being no trash cans, is weird. You would expect the result of having no trash cans would that the streets would be more dirty and have litter in them, but they also don't, which I think is quite Japanese. If you start removing the trash cans in the West, I think there'd be more litter on the streets.
Well, to rehash an idiom that you used before, chicken or the egg, isn't it? Because also that question doesn't make sense, because if anyone ever asked you chicken or the egg, if you're talking from evolutionary terms, of course the egg was first. Obviously. It's not like a little conundrum. If you believe in creationism, whatever. But if you believe in evolution, the egg was first. 2 things that weren't quite a chicken reproduced a genetic anomaly, a mutation occurred to create the egg of something which we now understand today to be the chicken. So if anyone ever says that to you again, the answer is the egg, then get on with your life.
It's a travel show.
But, you find the streets annoying, find the pedestrianised, the jaywalking thing annoying, but you can't have that and you can't not have that and have the clean streets. They're both two signs of the same mindset.
Right. I think,
The reason I get to walk to work through a beautiful park that doesn't have a single piece of litter on the floor is because people wait at the traffic lights when they're red.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, there's slightly different things happening from the same source. Talking of source, what do you think Tokyo gets right that Western cities consistently get wrong?
What do the Tokyo cities get right? What's your answer for that one?
My answer is public transport, infrastructure, and order. So ironically, I'm kind of contradicting myself there. I just think the public transport's incredible. It is wonderful. Like you can plan your day to the minute because you know the trains are going to be on time. And even though there's 1,000 exits or whatever, there's 160 odd exits or something crazy at Shinjuku. Maybe not that many, but there's a lot anyway, 100 and something. But there's no stress. It's effortless. There's a lot of people, but it's not chaos.
The public transport is as good as people say, and there's heated seats. On the trains and stuff.
It's really good. You do feel like you can't talk, which maybe you shouldn't.
But that's in service of everyone.
Yeah.
Although it might be annoying that you can't be a bit you can't talk to your mates on the subway or whatever. There's also no one playing music on their phone speakers.
Yes.
You can't have one without the other. And I think another thing to add to that list is green spaces.
Okay.
There's a lot of nice parks and green spaces. I love that I can walk to work. The majority of my journey being through basically it was like a side street of green, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah, along a river as well.
Yeah.
Some of your journey, which is really nice.
I spoke to a friend who lives in Japan, a Japanese person, and they said, there's not that many green spaces in Tokyo. I was like, compared to other cities, there is.
Yeah, there's a lot. They might not always be that big.
There's a park every couple of blocks, often with public use exercise machines, a child's playground, walking places.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really the order thing again, It makes a big difference.
And I do like the staircases that go down to the water side. There's some areas of the city that are serving the pedestrians as well as the cars, which is great. The other thing I said there was the availability and affordability of fresh or freshly cooked food, which, for a city like Tokyo is amazing. It's just absolutely everywhere. And I've listed here, for anyone who wants to just get a gauge, a little index on how much things cost here. Coffee, 500 yen, which is about $3. And it's a decent coffee. If you get it in a coffee shop, it's going to be decent. Ramen, about 1,000 yen, $6.
You took us to an amazing ramen place yesterday that had, if you had just that all day, you'd be all right. It was a huge bowl of ramen for about 1,000 yen.
Yeah, we came out the other side stinking, looking at each other thinking, fucking hell, we've just consumed a monster.
I ate so much that the guy looked at me as if I was a demon and went, bravo.
Well, we ate so much that we immediately went to a convenience store and tried to get something to, mitigate the risk of us exploding, some liver function thing. Sushi plate from one of the eateries up and down this market street, or even the supermarket. 600, 800 yen. It's just $3, $5. It's amazing, really value. And the metro is about 180 to 330 yen per journey, which is $1 to $2 for probably the best.
I've never had it as cheap as 180. Is that not a bus?
Potentially.
250 usually is my standard price on the subway.
But it's still pretty cheap.
Very cheap.
There's people in the UK that are paying £21 or whatever it is to get a travel card for London, and the train never fucking turns up. So we're getting shafted. Number 6, have you noticed any contradictions in Japanese culture that outsiders might find surprising? Something maybe that we think of in the West that we think, Japanese people, they're all like this. And, my answer, just to give you a little platform to jump off, is the eating and drinking culture, but to excess.
Go on, talk about that.
So we've spoken at length about people from Japan being quite orderly, certainly polite, having manners, restraint, reserved, all this sort of stuff, shy, timid. When they've had a beer, my God.
Oh, but I knew that coming in.
You did?
Yeah, I did. So for me, that is something I expected.
But it's not exclusive to salarymen. which is what I think a lot of people think. The Japanese businessmen, they work themselves to the bone, 7 or 8 o'clock, leave the office with their colleagues, and then get off their tits until the early hours.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even if you just go into a lot of izakayas, there's a lot of drunk people on just a random Tuesday night.
Yeah, that's true.
They do love to booze, and the food and the drink goes really well together, hand in hand.
There's more smoking than I expected as well,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, so they're health conscious.
Exactly,
But there's a lot
yeah.
of smoking.
I was thinking like green zone, everyone's going to be pretty health conscious.
Yeah.
No, there's no one obese really, and that's true. There's like very few overweight people. Vaping and smoking quite a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, so there are, I mean, maybe the reason why they do go out and like to have a good time and they're so good sociably is because of the work-life balance or lack of.
Yeah.
You know, it is...
Weekend warriors.
It was a reaction too. And then finally, number 7, what's the one piece of advice you would give someone who's looking to move to Japan and perhaps settle in Tokyo?
I would say that it's very, very hard as someone who doesn't speak Japanese to get a job that will make your life here fulfilling. And I think a lot of people move to Japan and they end up doing one of very, very finite amount of things. They end up like doing one-to-one English kind of private lessons, or they end up trying to do that remotely or online. They end up working in these, they're not qualified teachers, so they end up working in really like hobbyist positions where they're basically just conversation English and things like that. I think it's very, very hard to move to Tokyo, do one of those jobs and live a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
So in my personal opinion, I think you'd be better off going on a platform like Workaway, finding a really cool volunteering position somewhere, of which there are many in Tokyo. I had a look.
Yeah.
There are loads of exciting workaway opportunities, or like things where you can live with a family and like help teach their kids English in exchange for your room and board.
Yeah.
I would sooner do that than get some minimum wage here is at 1,200 something yen.
Right.
Which is how much is that in
Per hour?
Yeah. How much is that using your little board roundabouts?
Yeah, it must be £7, something like that.
Less, I think, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's less than £7. I think it's more like £6 or £7, right?
Yeah.
You'd be better off volunteering and having a fulfilling life than you would. I think you get your room and board, right?
Yeah. And it could even be a language exchange. You could use it for a few months to learn a bit of Japanese and therefore go on to a job.
Working 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours a day, making 1,200 yen an hour. You're barely going to cover rent and food. You're going to burn up all your time and you're going to leave Tokyo thinking like that was a challenge. That was hard.
Yeah.
And for what really? Like what have you really gotten out of that experience? So I would say if your skill sets are such that that's the only thing you're going to be able to do in Tokyo, volunteer and explore Japan a little bit. Go up to Hokkaido, do a ski season, volunteer down there. There's a lot of Japan to explore. Tokyo is a great city if you can do cool stuff here. If you've got experience developing video games or voice acting or there's a bunch of things you could do in Tokyo, but I think it's for specific things. If you're really passionate about teaching, you're a qualified teacher, you've got a TEFL, do it. But don't just come here with no ideas, Maybe volunteering in that case is a bit better.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think
I'm probably white as well.
We've got this...
but I'm trying every day to be a bit more Japanese.
We've got... I think we have this idea in our head sometimes, especially a country like Japan, which is like a monoculture, right? And it's got such a strong identity. Things are so typically Japanese and obviously Japanese. And we've had exposure to it growing up for years and years. And I can understand why people might pull the trigger too early or just want to get over here and live that experience, whatever that looks like. But yeah, Tokyo specifically, I mean, it's cheaper than a Western city, capital city, probably.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But it's still an expensive city and you should still try to live a decent life. I feel like there's a lot of people here making sacrifices that they otherwise wouldn't.
It depends as well
quality of life.
What you're willing to do, right? It's cheaper than a Western city, probably, but we're in a house share.
We are.
We're in a house share because the rent is affordable in a house share. Rent's affordable all over Tokyo, but getting an apartment, securing an apartment costs a colossal amount of money up front. So I'm paying here 70,000 yen a month, so like $500, £350, something like that. Affordable rent. I could find an apartment, a small studio apartment, for a similar monthly cost, but the upfront cost might be $4,000.
Yeah, which is prohibitive.
For a backpacker, for someone traveling through, it's really prohibitive. And then I'm signed into like a 2-year lease. So obviously you're not going to do it as a backpacker. So you're going to have to give up some, if you want a private space, you know, you're going to have to do short-term lets, which then, of course, the monthly price rises up. So you're going to have to economize on things like privacy.
Yeah, very good piece of advice. I like that answer a lot. Just to finish off my answer to that question, which was maybe a little bit more obscure and not something you would necessarily know if you've never been to Japan or don't follow lots of people who live in Japan, is that you should be prepared for countless surface-level interactions that almost feel scripted. This is in things like train stations, convenience stores, restaurants, etc. Obviously, the language barrier plays a role. I mean, neither of us speak Japanese to the level where we can bond really or connect with the locals unless they speak good English, which does happen, but breaking through that layer can be difficult and it becomes a little bit repetitive. So when you go into convenience stores, they just say the same thing over and over again. And maybe in Japan and Japanese culture you don't necessarily interact with people that you meet in those scenarios, whereas I like to do that.
It would be very, very possible
Yeah.
to fall into living a very lonely life here.
Yes.
I don't, because I go to like comedy night, I go to the cinema, I have work colleagues, I go on dates, I like have friends over, all these different things that allow me to live a social life. I talk to other people in the house share. There's lots of things that I do to make sure that I'm not lonely. But if you were like focused on work,
Yeah.
didn't do those things, lived alone,
Didn't speak high level Japanese,
thank you so much.
it would
Then it would be very easy to get lonely, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And it's weird when you say the same things over and over again in all these establishments that I've just mentioned, and probably more of those that I just haven't interacted with because I've been here on sort of vacation as opposed to actually living here. It can be strange because you want people to open up, but they're closed because there is this culture of just saying the same thing, repeating the same thing over and over again. So you just go into autopilot. You say your thing, I say my thing, you say your thing, I say my thing, then I go. And that's not really sort of what I want out of an experience. So I need to learn more Japanese is what I think is the answer.
But to round up, there's far, far more positives than negatives. I'm really enjoying my life here. It's one of the most, I mean, in many ways, it's the most unique working holiday visa I've ever done.
Yeah.
Once I'm finished in my role here, I'll talk more about that job role.
Yes.
You know, we're being all cryptic and joking about me working at 7-Eleven. I'll talk more about what I'm doing here in Japan a little later on. But I will say it's been an incredibly unique opportunity. It's been a really wondrous time. I've worked in many countries, but I've never worked in a country in which English isn't the language.
Mm-hmm.
And I've found my time here so far to be so bafflingly enjoyable.
Yeah.
I'm just so grateful that it will be a story that becomes part of the narrative of my life. Remember the time I lived in Tokyo and did all the crazy things that I'm doing here. And just another testament to the fact that if it wasn't for going on a backpacking trip in Southeast Asia when I was 21, I wouldn't be here now doing this and talking to you about it. Don't let anyone gatekeep traveling as a broadening, amazing, beautiful thing. It doesn't have to be sipping a beer on a beach in Thailand, but sipping a beer on a beach in Thailand can be the kicking off block from which you kick off into the world and do ever expanding, beautiful things. So with that, we'll leave you and go over to the Patreon section where you can spend a little bit of money.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you a story about a little public bath, a hot bath, an onsen that I went to last night where I was dipping in the same waters as a Yakuza gang member.
Has to go in the Patreon section because if it doesn't, problems abound.
We'll get a knock on the door. We're so proud of you, mate. Well done.
I'm proud of you,
We're
actually.
inspired. Oh, well done.
Just stuff that makes me proud.
That's a different episode. Anyway, guys, you're amazing. Thanks ever so much for listening. We hope you found that useful, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.